Oh man, these last few videos, if you want some exercises to play with about meditation and just exploring the mind, I've given you quite a few in the last, the series of me wearing this coat. You can just go back in the last few, and all of them are these exercises of how to be aware in your daily life about what you're thinking about. And then to realize when you catch those thoughts, do you act differently? Do you respond differently? Do you speak differently? Do you make different choices? Which is really fascinating, because then you start to see that you're not a slave to those thoughts. There's this thing we often say in meditation practices. It's like, my mind is really busy. Gosh, there were so many thoughts in my mind. My mind is really active right now. And I want to ask you something. What is this thing called my mind? Where is it? Where is this thing called my mind? What does it look like? How does it feel? What does it do? And most people, as we talk, even, a lot of meditation practices and yogis and everything, because you're becoming more conscious of the mind, we own it. My mind with my thoughts and my mind. But what actually is my mind? This thing that has power to pull me out of the present moment. This thing that makes me feel so bad because it's so busy. This thing that's bad and mean and naughty and hurting me. My mind, oh my gosh, my mind was so busy. My mind couldn't get out of the story because my mind was thinking. No, there is no such thing as my mind. When you play with being more aware, you become very aware of the movement in your mind. I'm going back on everything I just said. You become aware of movement. You become aware of thoughts. You have to identify with them to call them mine. Otherwise, they're just simply there. The thoughts are simply happening, and then we own them. We make the story around them. We make them personal. We want to make them something, because that's the habit, and that's the movement. And then we become so used to movement that we think that's normal and natural. It is not normal and it is not natural. It is just simply habitual. It's a habit. And it's become a habit for so many years that we don't now know that there's something else. What is it like when the mind stops? When the movement stops? When we're simply present? And you have that experience when you watch the sunset, when you sit on the edge of the beach, when you might be just in the garden watching the plants, when you're walking through nature. This connection, this experience of being present to what is in this moment without commentary or a commentator. So it's very normal to actually be present and to realize there's no need for movement. What it is just changing a habit. You're changing the habit from what you have been previously thinking was normal, and then becoming more aware because you weren't aware before. And now with this new awareness, you can see that to have no mind or to be attached to no thoughts is actually where the peace is. The peace, the tranquility, the connection, the freedom, that all exists in this moment, in this space that's simply here now, that's witnessing and watching, where there is no movement, where there's no attachment to anything moving. And if you can be playing with that, then your whole experience to what you would identify as my mind would completely change, because then there's no ownerships or attachment to those thoughts and no story to call them mine, which is amazing. So play with it, see what happens, write comments, and we keep going on this beautiful journey together.